some plays, but Christian Gonzalez, I tell you, that is a tough assignment. Rashid Shaheed, and he can fly to have to run that one down.
They traded for him mid-season. This is what he does. This vertical element, he's open by 4 yards, and Darnold isn't going to miss that one early.
Plays, throw the ball outside by the numbers. Get away from all those guys in the inside. That's where all those high draft picks and
who's their best man corner, stems it in, and then again, he just glides. There's no way with the spot with Lawrence in the backfield, and then gives Nakua time to get down the field.
Golden hasn't had quite the rookie year that I think a lot of us expected him to have, but you can see right there the eyes of Jalen Johnson who's defending him.
The 12s are fired up. All the coverage was rotating to the right side of the field. Bobo with a little wiggle to the corner, back over the top of Bond. Good stick by Jennings with the indicator. Route, Devontae with the twitchiness, running by Jobe at the line of scrimmage. It's a good route by JSN, again on Darius Williams. It's kind of a deep little twisting curl. He just nods to the outside, then curl kind of goes to the pylon. That's the indicator that Darnold...
Just a great job there. McMillan working one-on-one against Kobe Durant. Tell you what.
Eman Wari got a decent jump on Nakua, had leverage. Throw, one-on-one with Witherspoon, and that is a lot of hand fighting. Adams is as good as anybody on the release. Stafford, a perfect throw, 1 foot in front of the numbers. A little spark.
See Gordon, who's getting ailing, not at 100%. Look at that cushion. It's exactly what Jordan Love saw when he moved him in motion.
Here's the route. Just a little stutter at that move point, which is about 14 yards. That's where the intermediate passing takes place. So when you can just freeze the defensive back's foot, coverage today, forcing so many tight window throws. Here you get on Nakua, and the speed of Woolen and the length. Watch the twitchiness, that little fake outside release there on Luter. Bobo.
It is a last-second diving play to knock that away and
give him time to be able to make this throw. And even though Wright has had a good year, you know, a lot of big surprise. People are surprised at how well he is.
Wow, what a start. Robinson on Quinyon Mitchell, and that little shake move gets him by Mitchell flat-footed. And then Robinson in open space, cutting back. You could see the pursuit coming from behind. But Purdy in these windy conditions right off the bat.
And that pass is good for 33.
Yeah, condensed formation gives Dobbs a two-way go. Great fake there at the top of the route and able to pull away.
A lot of deception here on this play. They fake the jet sweep, fake the toss, and a little bit of eye candy.
Just continues to play at a high level. They don't play a ton of bump and run coverage. This is a very soft, off-coverage defensive style.
Got to get to him. It's third down. Yeah, this is outstanding by Christian Gonzalez as he comes up and he's making a
job against Byard. Byard's a great player. Tough ask against Dobbs with this little shake, and then he's able to freeze him and get to the inside. Love
a bit of extra time, and Robinson full-speed routes. Call that a bench route and a perfect throw.
Destroying the receivers of the Chargers. This time it's Quentin Johnson on the outside. He breaks before Johnson does. And really, I thought that was going to be
just an interesting decision by Hurts. He's got Dodson on Green, but he chooses to go there on a one-on-one. He has A.J. Brown.
This is why I thought they should have done more play action on first down. This is Josh Allen goes up, changes the play, and just runs a simple curl route. And that gets Newsome right there because he has no
defensive play by the receiver. Yeah, Jaden Higgins, he's able to get on top of Carlton Davis. You see, he's got a couple steps, but the ball. Let's take a look. Kamari Lassiter, I talked about it last week. He plays corner. There was definitely a little.
This is a great route. Watch this. He's going to go deep on a post, but Trevor Lawrence throws the ball.
It's a great job here on the perimeter by Durant, up playing press coverage, one-on-one downfield. And
excuse me, that's Stout. I'm sorry. Just that little wiggle. Stout gets out of control and count, and then this is just Nakua on the backside. Reek Woolen trying to lock him up. Zone coverage. The inside gets cleared out, and then Coop just feels the sweet spot in that zone.
Just comes in and recovers it had it been a fumble.
Here's Benedict, by the way. You think he's in there to block? He's 30 yards downfield.
These defensive backs are simply crushing. They're just crushing the New England Patriots. And Kayshon Boutte here has been a tremendous...
To the line of scrimmage, he turns Gordon around. They're going after 6 right now. He's a talented player. He's just been injured. He's not 100%. He's trying to go out there and play as best as he can.
Yeah, there's Tonjes on the crossing route. I mean, Mitchell has so much more speed on that throw. He just easily undercuts it.
And everyone else is a solid group. And Hutchinson, watch his route as he's working against James Pierre. He doesn't show or telegraph what he's coming off the ball. You're going to see Derek Stingley, 24. You know, he thinks he's going to keep going. He's going to bite on it on the slant route. And Metcalf
49 yards.
Well, Christian Kirk runs an excellent route. Brandon Eccles, the nickel corner, he's in coverage. And you see the step that he gets on him. And then Kyle Duggar, and this is a defense that they smell blood in the water. I mean, you got to back them off somehow. And these quick passes that, you know, that's now with Nico Collins out of the lineup. Jaden Higgins is going to be the one having to face number 24, it looks like, for the rest of the game.
Watson take 2 defenders with him. Takes 26 and 31 downfield. It creates an opening for 11 and a mismatch against the linebacker Edmonds. To this year is isolated one-on-one, and he did not hesitate. Kept his eyes on Byard to keep him away, and what a great catch.
Coker, he just continues to ascend here in year 2, lined up in the slot on Quentin Lake. We talked about how important.
Nico Collins, the target, slow to get up. Well, you got Joey Porter. We're going to see a lot of this matchup with Porter on Nico Collins. Well, here's a look. Here's where C.J. Stroud wanted to go with the football. Joey Porter not getting help on this play, so he's matched up.
Early in the game, Jennings one-on-one with DeJean, but doesn't quite have the separation that Robinson had. Drops it in the bucket. Just a go route. Not much separation, but because that ball's in the air, zone coverage in zone, you want a lot of stationary routes. See Cooper just finding in the middle of the field. It's a nice route going on to Dory Jackson, that little stutter step on the in cut.
Yeah, just a great job there by Mike Jackson playing through the catch. And in the first half, this Rams team, that was one of the keys of the game in my mind coming in. And again, it's Quentin Lake matched up in the slot. One of the best offensive minds in football. He understands that there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on Puka Nacua. So first couple drives, Stafford stood back there and had all the time in the world. And here in the last quarter and a half, with all this zone coverage, just puts a lot of stress on the inside linebackers. Roseboom, he's reading the eyes of Stafford. No dash. A lot of different words for this. Manuel Forbes, he's now lined up in the slot, trying to give them a little. See, he's just going to run a wheel route. He's one-on-one with Trayvon Merrick. Just out and up. He does a great job. Merrick's trying to push him to the sideline. They teach those guys, just try to be physical and run that body.
Design, they run this switch release, with Jennings gets a little pick on Woolen, and right in Jennings' hands.
Wow, they were double teaming him too. Surtain's playing inside. He's got safety help, but what a route by Cooks right there. I mean, that was high level, and Surtain's job is to stop the inside there because he had.
In how he's been able to contribute to this offense, but he gets inside, and you see the window there that.
So much about Puka Nacua is his ability to be brave. When you're running that fast across the middle of the field against.
Off the line of scrimmage, you're going to see just an excellent release move, and then he's got a couple steps, just not able.
I honestly cannot believe the job that this Bears secondary is doing tonight. They have simply been fantastic. Now, they've gotten a lot of people down the field before the break-in, so you've got to have protection. And right now, this offensive line is doing fine. All the way down the field, we're hustling across the field, but then he's got to turn and try to make the play down the field. And you've got Matt Collins, who is not finished yet.
The concentration he has, and he hasn't dropped many balls this year, but he's got the length. Wait for that to develop. He comes out, Cooper Kupp takes the underneath part of the coverage, and I just don't finding spots in zone. Miscommunication, nobody out there, an easy throw and catch, just outflank the defense.
You're going to come out and then you're going to come in here and then go back out, but you're going to get behind some traffic, and that's exactly what happened to Christian. If not for the plays that he's made in this game, it would have been an absolute blowout at this point. He has saved a couple of deep ones. Well, that one almost got fair caught there. That was up for grabs for everybody, but when you get in this situation, I guess you got to go for a few. He is looking for that ball down the field, and he can dissect those zone defenses. His receivers, take a look at it. They did go play action and the bootleg, and I'll tell you, Woodson, just not much you can do about it, right? You've got to play the run game here because they're in such an advantageous position. You see the heat coming on. Wow, that was an opportunity to end it right there. And you got one of the fastest players in football, and he's open. Just could not. Yeah, and just space in the middle of the field there that time for Sam Darnold. And these are the kind of quick throws that I think that New England's going to have to get to. Things you'll see with both of these teams is that they want to undercut those routes, and that was dropped in perfectly. Yeah, we're seeing as many hits on Sam Darnold as we are on Drake May. But Darnold has managed to hit a few of these passes, and this is a tremendous throw because you're going to end up with coverage out here on the outside. That little, he is throwing into tight windows here. That one just barely had enough room. And so far, it has been the pressure of the, you're going to see the matchup right there. And Marcus Jones,
well, this is a little bit of a coverage sack because everyone's guarding their guy, and it's a little bit tougher.
On their sideline, Matt Stafford playing quarterback, Puka, and then you got Parkinson on the deep over route. And when you feel that
check games, he was right airtight.
This is the point.
Now you're forced to, how are we going to communicate? They decide to lock it, and that leverage, he gets exactly what he wants. And Darius Williams is hard to hit these. He's so twitchy. JSN on the outcut, but a good, this kind of scan all the way back to the right side of the field. Rashid ends up being about his fourth or fifth read, so when he flips his hips back, that allows Durant to drive on that ball.
And to get started, he's going to run right past the corner, and Stidham looks off the safety, Hawkins, and
ends up being a 2-on-1. You see Julian Love has a little help out there on Job.
No one's been better than Gonzalez this postseason. He's been playing outstanding. Gave up one play earlier today. I mean, it looks so terrible, but there is one side that can actually do it. Josh McDaniels, perfect call by Stidham. That's got to be caught. The problem is the conditions are very difficult. That's why you play man-to-man.
It is clean. The launch point they just can't get to. Parkinson ends up being the fourth or fifth read. He's got a defensive end haul and
almost run in to a New England defender, Woodson, right there. Well, he takes just a little long. Sutton, he's going to try and push him out, and the ball's on its way, and it gets up on him. It's actually an incredible throw because they played coverage, and not everyone came after you. It's just two guys in the route, and you'll see DBs
try to disrupt them. Landman just goes out over the top of them, and JSN works his way behind him. You make him miss, then Landman comes in high. He makes him miss. Walker is just so twitchy. He's got a low center of gravity, and that's one way you deal with them. Try to butch him from the defensive end.
I'm out today, and what I mean is not New England. You don't want to throw at this guy.
Eamon, the rookie, comes in. He's such a big body, and with that length, see his right arm get in.
Deny the Rams, and they get it back with 4:54 to go in the lead.
Yeah, a combination of a little bit of rush, and he actually makes a great throw.
May, who's been as accurate as anybody in the National Football League down the field, not as well there.
If there's anything you've said in our meetings this week is,
well, watch Hufanga. You're said it. He's going to fool, and he's going to pretend to go inside, and then he falls right back. And this should have been a pick going the other way, except Diggs does a great job getting his hand in there, and this is why I don't love the two runs, both quarterbacks now.
So this time they're going to have everybody in a different spot here, right? The three-layer throw. Instead of having nobody in the flat, he had somebody in the flat to control what was happening behind him. But Odunze, what a catch.
Just enough You see Marcus Jones is in coverage. Kirk's running to the outside route, and a ball that's behind.
That looked like a touchdown to me as it was coming out of Caleb Williams' hands. Adunze is going to make the cut. Just right through. They're going to come with this blitz down here. Nakua is going to be wide open. Just pitch and catch at that point. Those guys have done that so many times. And Puka Nakua
sent him to the championship game.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson plays that Puka Nakua has been making this entire season, and it's why Matthew Stafford said, I don't care who it is out there, if it's Brisker, whoever, my guy usually goes up and gets this one. Just couldn't time it up that time.
And that's a good start. Like I say, just take one play at a time and execute it positively and stay ahead of the chains. Now you get a play.
Is just a quarterback who knows what he's doing. They're going to work that spot right in there. Watch him. Just as soon as he sees what the defense is, he knows exactly what he has. Get the ball out to Loveland.
Ruled incomplete. Hutchinson went up to get it. Spillane had his hand in there, and the ball comes out.
Just kind of mistimed his jump.
Sitting right there, but he had Puka Nakua right inside him, so he had to stay close because Nakua is so good. He took that one step. Kevin Byard was 7 interceptions right back there. Keep an eye on him as they try to hit this route. But with Matthew Stafford, getting him to move around the pocket is to the, oh my goodness, Omar Speights thought he had a pick, but Caleb Williams was too clever. Barely out of the reach, right over his head, in for the touchdown. That may have been a season ago an interception that now is a touchdown.
Coverage, and you wonder what a difference Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz would have made for this offense had they have been by Lassiter. It looked like at the last minute maybe there was a little separation and maybe they might be able to come down with this catch. Just Drake May, but great body control at the top of this route as Diggs comes out of it. To'o, he's in cover to get the ball out just a little bit more. Higgins, he's got a chance for a big play. And these conditions are hard. On the bottom of Craig Woodson, number 31, you're going to see as he comes up to make a play on this ball that he almost intercepts it when he comes up. He's sitting right there. He's reading the quarterback. A double move, a dig route. Yeah, the Texans, they play a 2-shell coverage, so they've got safeties deep, and you've got Lassiter who comes up, and Petrie, he's having to honor the outside route, and so it opens. Marcus Jones, he's soft. You see, he's going to go in motion when Kirk does, but he's got his eyes back on C.J. Stroud. He knows exactly what the route is when the ball's coming out, and that was close to being another interception. A ball that's slightly behind with a pursuing defender. Talk about it a lot, Joe. Balls that are thrown behind with that kind of coverage, this is what's going to happen. Carlton Davis, who I mentioned, had not had an interception this year. You talked about earlier that being his first in the postseason. Now he's got 2. He's had a good game. He had just got called for pass interference to kind of set this up, but he makes a heck of a play on the football that's thrown behind him. It looked initially like this is a great catch. I mean, that is not easy to do. That ball's away. He knows he's going to have contact at the end of it. Jalen Reed in coverage, and he's trying to make a play on the football, but just strong hands by Stephon Diggs. Woodson's right in the back here, and he drives on it immediately and could have very easily have intercepted. You want it on his body. As he turns around, he's expecting the football, and then it just gets away from him. And much of a chance there. You see Drake May as he comes back. The ball comes out. It's a little slick out there, as you can imagine. So ball security and also being sharp when you're turning the ball loose.
Yeah, and that was slow-mo. Here's real speed.
To the wire, you got to think.
We've had a few thrillers in the divisional and AFC title game over the years. I mean, that throw, just dropping it.
And so a good effort by Pearsall, and instead they correctly overturn this with assist, and that is incomplete.
This is a seam route. Sean Payton goes to a core play. You run seams up the middle and quickly thrown ball. You're going to watch. He turns around right here and then slows up. If he'd have kept running.
Watch this. This is just a little seam read. He's got to put enough arc and pace. This is what you call a 2 ball. Enough arc just to get it over the second level of the defense. I think Jones may up. Ends up beating the coverage. Green.
Josh Allen throws a perfect level 2 ball where only his guy can catch it at the high point. And
fellas, both guys hand fighting, forearms go up for the football. No call. We got to play right now. This is a good no call.
Leading receiver this year. What a throw by Darnold on the run. Only where he could put it. Knows he doesn't quite have the width that he needs. And a perfect throw.
The field goal position, but you have your opportunity, and guess who they're attacking? Savage on the backside. He overruns it. There's no reason.
Longer distance, goes for 11.
This is fortunate a little bit. It's a great throw right in between 2 guys. You wouldn't necessarily say. I want you to watch. Surtain is here. The motion's going to come in, so you think that he's not going to actually get the ball, and then he comes out. And right there, he's telling him to go over there. And that is why you motion.
The Broncos are operating now on the Buffalo 40. Gain of 23.
Big time throw in a clutch situation. Watch. Sean Payton special. Here's Crum. He's going to act like he's blocking. I'm blocking, guys. No one cover me. I would never catch a touchdown. Yes, I will. Denver takes the lead.
Between 2 Broncos after the catch.
This is where he's got to bounce out or take the run. He decides to go toward the run. And Ufonga, first time, takes a bad angle. And Shakir, who's as good at run after catch as anybody. You talked about last week. He shows up again today in huge fashion in a huge situation.
This one wasn't.
They were, because that team plays more vision on the quarterbacks, zone coverage. These guys, a lot more man up tight on you. Good. Well, he's going to be chipping, helping out, and then Ufonga. Oh! Fortunate, though. I mean, that is a hit. That's why they went and got him in Greenlaw, because they felt like they didn't have these guys to hit Buffalo last year. This ball's thrown perfectly low and away. And that does look like a catch, but just Parker Washington being a big difference maker.
Yeah, Stafford just continues to get all of his production in between the numbers. And J.C. Horn, Sherless, they ended up colliding. Wild card weekend. Bryce Young takes a look out, one-on-one in the slot against the safety Cam Curl. And
is there, but watch. Tre'Davious White is all over Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, so take a look here at Jalen Coker. He's going to run an in-breaking dig route, and he just stops. He feels Quentin Lake coming down, so.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Carolina, number 84. The 50.
Brandon Cooks. What an acquisition.
I mean, this is an outstanding throw. Great.
Such a heads-up play, because you see Nacua, he stops. Stafford thinks he's going to keep going, and then Puka Nacua does his best defensive backs. He just punches his right hand right through Nick Scott. You're lucky that wasn't another pick.
2 games on defense, bounced from one team to another. 4 different teams over those 3 years where he got 2 total games. They gave him a chance in Seattle, and he comes over here to Carolina, and he's playing the game of his life.
Allen is taking a beating today. He stood in here, and this was a incredible throw. Great job by Shakir to get his eyes.
Keep up with him, and he had no chance, but it's over his head.
Yeah, it gets him on a little double move, and again, let's remember, Devontae Adams is going to run the dagger. Watch Nate Landman. They call this a goalpost throw. Quarterbacks come out here and they always put objects and to simulate defense. Well, I've seen him get Teteroa McMillan in. That's this year's first-round pick. Jalen Coker on the field that know that could be a pass player. Teteroa McMillan and Bryce Young. The other 9 guys are all operating.
Range with the reception near the goal line.
So close. And you see the cover 3 corner coming over White. He reads the seam on the inside, stays high on.
And just early in the game, Bryce Young trying to settle in, but these are the matchups. This is where Bryce Young has to continue to be willing to take these. In mind, he's the front runner, offensive player of the year, typically goes to the best non-quarterback, and just the season that he has, we're going to show you today, his ability to impact the passing game.
Work into it. Ball has to come up short.
59 fourth quarter points.
Yes.
On a wild Saturday.
His ability.
Jacoby Myers.
I mean, it's lucky that
a couple of times they got it over to Cook in the opening, but they have been on him quickly, not getting any nifty run here by Khalil.
Well, this is just a numbers game. There's three guys by Trevor Lawrence, and you just see the ball placement is on the outside right here, and he plays so many different positions, and he's the difference maker, I call it. They're going to disguise it right here when Trevor Lawrence drops back. He's going to end up throwing an in route right here, and Shaq Thompson reads his eyes and flows right to the ball. And they switched up, went to Tampa 2, and that means you're right there in the middle, and you read the quarterback's eyes, and that is one that Trevor Lawrence wants back. It's going to be Cole Bishop, who I think is playing as well as anybody in the secondary for Buffalo.
Raheem Steele on the outside just kept spinning around in a circle, and he could not get his feet planted back in the ground and make the move quickly enough because Booty.
Nice job. That's a phenomenal job. And Devontae Smith, not like he breaks a ton of tackles, but you got a rookie in open space and comes out of the middle of the field. Siegel's like, nope, I got you, big guy. I'm gonna wrap you up and toss you down.
Watch the way he just maneuvers. He doesn't always go full speed. He just knows where the gaps in that defense is. That time they drop back Tier Tart, the nose big time right there to go to a rookie in that situation and know that he had to get his feet down. Was the ball fully secured when the right foot trying to go around to make this play and just never got to the football and then was out of position to make a tackle. And that's going to. The one thing that they thought about Cam Hart was that the change of direction wasn't quite as quick and that he would take a lot of zone defense out of this Chargers team. So you'll see routes just like this, try and loop around the linebacker and throw it quickly in. Perfect throw over Derwin James's head. This is a play we did not see from Drake May early in the year.
Ball allows Kendricks to read his eyes, come right underneath it and make the game sealing. But these downfield throws, that ball's got some arc on it in a post route. See, AJ just can't track it.
You can drive that defender. You could drive that defender 5, 6, 10 yards downfield. Great flag pickup, touchdown.
Doesn't he? He's got there on Kittle. He knows he's got a speed advantage. And when he's tight in coverage like that. So much deception. Here ends up being your passer. Give it to Sky Moore on the jet sweep. And then I don't know why Blankenship comes out of coverage. He feels McCaffrey there, but he kind of goes to approach the running back, or excuse me, Jennings. And then who else? Christian McCaffrey.
A lot of those types of plays. Here's a look at the last play. Good job by Lassiter and almost a great effort by Austin. But
either checking it down or finding a tight end or receiver. Zacchaeus this time from the right in front. The defense, watch them react. If they think the ball's going to be thrown the burden, they completely lose DJ Moore behind him because.
Well, they threatened him here with DK Metcalf, in that combination route. They got DK Metcalf going to the pylon, and then Thielen comes off of that, and it opens it up. You see Kamari Lassiter, number 4. They split out Woody Marks. He's playing wide receiver. And as soon as that ball started to come out, Peyton Wilson, he just immediately was barreling down on him.
Do against Christian Watson. There's the matchup right there. Gives him a hard look to the outside, trying to set up to get back inside. And Johnson finishes on the play to get a hand on the football right there to knock it out of the hands.
Well, C.J. Stroud just not able to get the ball out there enough because Titus Howard, the left guard, he gets pushed right back into the pocket. This ball floats on Stroud, and Knowles trying to make the. Let's take a look and make sure he catches this football, but he lays out. Looked like a great job on his part. Sure is a catch. Right here, Kalen Bullock, and you're going to see, as Freiermuth comes down the middle, that it pushes him off, and then you've got Marquez Valdez-Scantling who's coming underneath that.
It creates an opportunity in a matchup once again for this rookie tight end out of Michigan, Loveland, against the linebacker, Quay Walker. Actually, Zacchaeus, 14, keeps the corner up tight. He's pointing, but he gets held there himself. No timeouts. Oh my gosh, the timing of this. Again, a great throw, great route. Thing out. They're able to do this without using any of their timeouts and before the 2-minute warning. He gets a chance, and here it is. Took him to come out of the backfield with motion. Nobody responds. They blitz from the interior. See the slot there. Gordon blitzes. But how about Golden's effort? Good blocks. Good job by Watson. But that is a heck of an individual. Caleb Williams, see 2 to the outside. Watch, he'll clear it out. Take the defenders with him. And there's Colston Loveland out to the outside in a nice big opening. Who's beaten on the play, but his hustle on this play, even though he doesn't see it, he reads the eyes. He got his shoulder pad on the game.
Man who is number 1 all time in interception percentage as a quarterback, Aaron Rodgers throws a long pick 6.
Yeah, he sure does. Bullock, this is his 5th interception of the year. He had 5 last year, which led the team, and this entire secondary has been a ball hawking group.
Half roll here away from the receiver, rolls to his right, linebackers impacted with their eyes, splits those 2 linebackers with a great throw. Aggressive defense. Here's Loveland. Watch this defense flow with this play action look. Now this looks like the Bears. Good job on that boot. They're naked, get him to the outside. Defense fast flowing. He's over here, he sits in the flat. He's got an underneath receiver and 2, DJ Moore, and then the tight end goes behind him. He's kind of in the middle, hole shot, makes the throw there. Good job of Fuse. See him pointing, 26. He kind of gets caught up on the wrong guy. It leaves Dobbs all alone out there in the flat. Instincts here. You'll see him come to your left. He jumps this route. Saw a certain look. Knew to try to get in front of it and almost did. Trying to get the ball out